The markets have been gripped by a volatility spike unlike anything seen since the great financial crisis and COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the question that keeps nagging at me was whether this was the start of a much larger event or merely a bad trade gone awry. And that's what we want to be discussing today. Let's kick off our time today with economic and stock market risks. The markets have been on a wild ride lately, with volatility making a great leap, followed by a sudden crash that seemingly stabilized really everything. But this is what lead 4 feels like, one that would really experience a sense of instability and uncertainty a lot of times with the stock market. Now, the past 2 weeks have seen market conditions really similar only to 2 other times in history: the great financial crisis and COVID-19. So the question that I asked earlier, whether this is the start of a bigger move, that's something more impactful, or it's just a temporary bout of bad trading, is really what I want to be looking at and diving into on your behalf. Now, here's what we're really starting to see. The extreme volatility certainly suggests that there would be a major shift underway with our economy. But we're also seeing that this was a huge event that happened very quickly and could have really been just that, just a one-time thing. But either way, we have had some hiccups and some events that are starting to make a little bit more uneasiness out there. Now, yes, we have had some good, positive economic data out there, and that's really helped to tamp down the volatility, which actually sparked a rally in the stock market. Now, yes, that is a great sign. Historically speaking, though, the next couple of months typically are really just sideways for the stock market. So these next few months are not really going to actually provide that much of information for us. But also, it may mean that we're going to really start to see this rally potentially come to an end and just move sideways more so as well. So here's what we're expecting: that this lead 4 event and scenario that we're in right now with our economy is going to continue. So what that means is that we have a lowered growth and inflation. While that may seem good on the inflation front, what we're really starting to emphasize now is growth. And depending on how you look at the data right now, it could actually be doing just okay to actually really bad. And that's the thing that I think is really starting to be out there, the unknowns of things. And what we'll see over the next couple of weeks into the next month and a half is that the data may potentially get even a little bit worse. And if that's the case, expect volatility and the swings in the stock market to continue. Moving on, let's talk about portfolio changes. Even with the heightened risk, there are no new changes that we're making to the portfolios at this time. We've made some defensive adjustments over the last couple of weeks by selling some Japanese holdings, some international type stocks, and some other growth related stocks, basically to reduce the overall risk and exposure that we have with the portfolios. But we're also continuing to hold a higher level of cash and focusing on really investments that act better in this type of an environment, which include consumer staples, utilities, and healthcare. So outside of those, there are no additional changes that we have made over the last few weeks. Let's turn our attention to wealth management and advanced planning. When it comes to discussing your wealth plan, one thing that is often overlooked: financial scams. Now, it's easy to assume that the only victims here are the ones that we so often hear about in the media. But the fact is, these fraudsters are really working overtime to target those with significant assets. Now, even worse, they're having more success than ever at parting us from our wealth than you could even imagine. So here's the thing: know that you are a target. And ultimately, being smart or wealthy doesn't necessarily make you an expert at spotting these scams and shielding yourself from them. So what we need to do is a couple basics. Well, first of all, be on guard. Now, this is just something that you can be doing to help protect yourself from these scams and to really get a handle at what these crooks are trying to do and how they can try to part you from your money. So ransomware, phishing attacks, transfer frauds, account takeover, and card not present frauds are really just a few of these tactics. But when you take a look at those, you can help to avoid getting scammed by just slowing down and using some caution. So when we say check your basics, really it's just verifying the legitimacy of a financial request and be very wary of unsolicited offers. So these are just a couple of the techniques you can employ among many others, but slowing down, being cautious, and then also taking precautions to safeguard your assets and your information is vital. And that alone will help to aid in not becoming a statistic, but it's not every step you can take. So being proactive, and if you need help working with the correct companies and individuals to help you to safeguard your assets is crucial. After discussing all that, I want to talk about our second opinion service. In today's complex financial landscape, it's not uncommon for the people that you care about to feel uncertain about their state of their wealth plan. And that's why we're proudly offering our second opinion service, which is really a comprehensive review of where they are at today, where they want to go in the future, and then seeing if there's any gaps that exist. Now, this all starts with a discovery meeting where we can actually learn a little bit more and then figure out if there are any gaps in the overall plan. If someone that you care about would like to go through a second opinion service, please feel free to let us know. We'd be happy to schedule a time to meet with them and go through that discovery meeting and analyze their overall plan for them. If you have questions or would actually like to discuss your overall wealth plan more, please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to talk. Take care.